Well, Hurricane Milton has definitely turned some heads across the weather community and across the nation as we're all monitoring this very intense storm about to make its way over into Florida. Here we are taking a live look at it on satellite right now. You can see that eye is slowly starting to make a little bit more progress and becoming more defined again. It weakened a little bit overnight, thankfully. Right now we're sitting at a higher end Category 4 storm, and it's forecasted to continue to weaken, thankfully, as it continues to make landfall into Florida going into tomorrow. Now, last night it did make a historic drop in terms of its intensity. Its centralized pressure got below 900 millibars, which has only happened 4 other times on record in the Atlantic, which is a very big deal. But thankfully, again, this is beginning to weaken. Here's a look at what the track is looking like right now, crossing somewhere near Tampa. Now, there's still a lot of room for variability, which is a good sign because a lot is going to depend on just a couple miles based on where this ends up. If the hurricane decides to track a little bit to the north of the Tampa Bay area, as you can see, the circulation of this hurricane really starts to funnel a lot of that ocean water in and can cause for some of that catastrophic flooding and storm surge. Now, if it decides to shift just a little bit to the south, that's all we really need, then as you can see, that circulation starts to blow off the coast and that flooding would not be nearly as drastic. So this is definitely something that everyone is going to be keeping their eyes on as we go into tomorrow. Up here, though, we're looking really quiet. Not a lot of weather of note. Our lows, again, were a little bit chillier tonight. We were a bit warmer. However, much of us were still sitting in those 30s, a couple more 40s out there, though. We did see some more temperatures that were below 28 degrees, which is that threshold needed for a hard freeze, which really makes an effect on much of the vegetation. Here in these purple colors are the counties that have already experienced that hard freeze, whether that was tonight or last night, and they're right on par for when they should usually see it on that first week of October. Now, the rest of us, our turn is coming up, and it's looking like we're going to be right on par for where we usually see that on average going into next week. It's not going to come for a little bit, though. We still have a few days, a bit warmer today, staying in the low to mid 70s, and we're going to continue to warm up until we get into the weekend. Here we are tomorrow, still feeling that mild conditions, but as we get into Thursday and definitely into Friday, we'll feel that warmth from that ridge moving over, possibly getting into the 80s in some regions. But after we get into the weekend, Saturday, especially into Sunday, we feel that cold air really plunge down across much of the country. Going to feel a great cool down from it, going to feel a little bit more like fall as well. So there's going to be a payoff. Now, that pattern is also very dry. We really only have one chance of rainfall with that cold front coming Saturday night, just a 20% chance right now. A lot of that rain is looking to stay north as well. So quiet conditions up here. It's going to be a little bit warmer tonight. However, some areas north of I-94 could still be looking at a chance for some patchier frost tonight. And then tomorrow, just a bit warmer, staying in the mid 70s. Again, feeling that gradual warm up as we go throughout the week. Thursday and Friday, still looking at the warmest, still looking at that chance for an 80 on Friday. But then after that, we have some 50s in the forecast to start the next week off. So it's going to be a major switch up going from 80 to 50 in just a few days. It's going to feel great, though.
Quite the roller coaster for sure. Yeah, yesterday afternoon was so amazing.
It's going to feel good.
I was loving it. Awesome. Thank you, Nicole.